charity, wisdom, patience, and humility. Each year, the YMCA of the Kanawha Valley attributes the admonition of St. Francis to an individual in the valley whose life personifies the spirit of giving. The YMCA is proud to pay tribute to this year's Spirit of the Valley recipient, a man whose immeasurable charity, compassion, and leadership are examples to us all, J. Holmes Morrison. Whether he's spending time with his granddaughter or vacationing with his wife of 37 years, J. Holmes Morrison is enjoying retirement. Before retiring, he had a long and very successful banking career. His life, though, didn't start as carefree as it may seem now. John Holmes Morrison was born in New York on March 13, 1941. His childhood was unlike most. His father, Dudley, died 6 months before he was born. His mother, Ina, passed away when he was only 2.5. After their death, Holmes and his older brother Dudley were adopted by an aunt and uncle in Charleston, West Virginia. John C. and Margaret Morrison already had a son named John. The family thought it would be confusing to have 3 people named John, so they decided to call the youngest one by his middle name, Holmes. The family of 5 lived in South Hills. Holmes referred to his aunt and uncle as Mom and Dad. The 3 boys called each other brothers. The children did everything together, including serve as altar boys at St. John's Episcopal Church. The brothers have remained close over the years. They still try to get together to celebrate birthdays. Holmes says some of his favorite childhood memories are the summers he spent at the Orm School, a ranch camp in Arizona. The camp stretches across 26,000 acres. The pristine country setting is where he says he learned values, ethics, and integrity. He attended the camp for 5 years. When he turned 21, he returned as a camp counselor to give something back to the school that made such an impact on his life. In 2004, the school presented him with the Distinguished Alumni Award. Holmes attended Fernbank Grade School and Thomas Jefferson Junior High School in Charleston. His high school degree is from Choate School in Wallingford, Connecticut. It's the same college preparatory school his biological father attended. Holmes was very outgoing in school and enjoyed playing football and basketball. As a youth and an adult, Holmes had a passion for tennis. He played often, but a knee injury ended his game sooner than he would have liked. After high school, Holmes attended Morris Harvey College for 1 semester, then transferred to Washington and Lee University in Lexington, Virginia. He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree in 1963 and a law degree in 1967. After graduation, he returned home to Charleston. He was offered a job with Kanawha Valley Bank, one of his father's former law clients. Holmes appreciated the job opportunity, but turned it down, thinking the last thing he wanted to do was be a banker. Instead, he chose to practice law with his father. Holmes handled a variety of cases, including divorce and real estate. A short time later, Kanawha Valley Bank again offered Holmes a job. He was getting tired of practicing law, so in August 1967, he accepted the offer. He says he thought it would be fun for a couple of years. Well, those couple of years turned into a lifelong career in banking. Kanawha Valley Bank was the predecessor of One Valley Bancorp. It was the oldest, largest, and arguably the state's most well-known financial institution. Holmes went to work in Kanawha Valley Bank's trust department.
I think when he got into the trust work, which was a lot of legal work, which complemented his educational background, and his mentoring by those above him and so forth, I just think generated more and more enthusiastic response to the opportunity.
After about 9 years, he was promoted to the head of the trust department. In the early 80s, he moved to the commercial side of the business. By 1985, he had worked his way up to president. Under his leadership, Kanawha Valley Bank acquired several other financial institutions, and in 1987 changed its name to One Valley Bank. Holmes became the chief executive officer in 1991 and was later named chairman. Despite his high rank, he always kept his sense of humor. One prime example is an employee meeting in 1993.
Well, I think that the thing that really stood out about that event was that here you had Holmes, Mr. Banker, who generally appears in a suit and tie, all of a sudden on a Harley in motorcycle gear. And I can't remember exactly the theme, but it was all in keeping with action and breaking up stereotypes. And I know that it was an incredible event. I was not there because it was an employee event, but the buzz was just really great.
In the 90s, the bank grew to become the 73rd largest financial institution in the country in terms of assets and market capitalization. Holmes credits his team for the success. He says he had great employees. The bank also had very loyal customers. Holmes says the hardest decision he made during his tenure was the decision to merge with BB&T in 2000. He says it was a balance between customers, employees, and owners. He and his team tried to do what was right for all three constituencies. After the merger, he continued to hold several key positions at the bank, including chairman of BB&T's West Virginia Board of Advisors and the BB&T West Virginia Foundation. In July 2003, he was selected Banker of the Year by the West Virginia Bankers Association. In 2005, after 38 years of service, Holmes retired.
Holmes had a tremendous rise in his business career over the years to chairman of One Valley Bank, and his success in business, he had to spend a lot of time at work. But that did not take away from his commitment to his family on the weekends and in the evenings and on vacations. So his family came ahead of everything, and even ahead of his job, I would say.
By his side during the ups and downs has been his wife, Antoinette. She first caught his eye playing tennis at Edgewood Country Club. The two were married September 19, 1970. He wisely says marrying her was the best decision he ever made. They have 2 children, a daughter, Key, and a son, John. Their daughter was married on the family's property in Kanawha County. It stretches 55 acres and has a magnificent view of Putnam County. The Morrisons have a deep and lasting bond with the property. In an effort to preserve the land from future development, they granted a conservation easement to the West Virginia Land Trust. In 2006, West Virginia Land Trust presented the couple with the Special Places Award. Holmes and Antoinette have one beautiful granddaughter. Izzy holds a special place in the hearts of her Nana and Poppy. Holmes treasures his family time. He recalls going to their camp in Canada when his children were young and learning how to water ski. The house in Canada remains a special place to retreat for the entire family. Holmes has a passion for wanting to make the community a better place than he found it, a passion that first emerged during his summer camps in Arizona. Over the years, he has worked to accomplish that goal by serving on a number of community boards, including the United Way of the Kanawha Valley, West Virginia Chamber of Commerce, the West Virginia Bankers Association, and many, many others. Holmes' community involvement stretches in many different directions. In July 2005, Governor Joe Manchin appointed him to the Probable Cause Review Board of West Virginia Ethics Commission.
Holmes's personality is serious at times, committed at times. He's very focused on things that need to be focused on.
For more than 2 decades, Holmes has served on the Board of Trustees for the University of Charleston. In 1993, he became its chairman. He is one of the longest-serving chairmen in the history of the school. UC surprised him in January 2007 by naming its new fitness center after him. The Morrison Fitness Center sits on the campus lawn facing the Kanawha River and the West Virginia state capitol. Holmes' generous heart has indeed shaped the Kanawha Valley into a better place to live, learn, and work. The YMCA salutes J. Holmes Morrison with the 2008 Spirit of the Valley Award. His selfless contributions are examples to us all.